this for a number of years now, and I came up with this idea many years ago, and I'm really pleased to see it come into the real world, into the hands of you working people, amateurs, professionals. I want to get this out for everyone to use. It's a fantastic product. I'm sure you'll love it as much as I do. Okay, you've just received your package. You've opened the box. What have we got inside? Let me quickly show you what we have here. This beautiful minimalist wallet that I've designed, and it performs an amazing function. As you know, it's a wonderful clear peak, a full peak of a full billet. So let me show you exactly what you get. Now inside the wallet itself, you'll have a fake credit card. It's a piece of plastic here with apparently part of a credit card on the top here, and that serves the purpose of creating an illusion whereby you would take a card, a billet, place it between apparently a couple of cards, and yet you're still able to get a full peak just by this action here. Now I'll show you a bit more about the handling in a moment, but just to show you that that creates the illusion and everything seems absolutely above board. So let's have a look how you set up your wallet. Take any credit card that you like, any spare credit card, and place it in the pocket above. Now this creates an illusion of when you place your billet into the wallet, it is sandwiched between apparently two credit cards, creating the illusion that it's completely sandwiched and you cannot see anything in any way, shape or form. Then all you have to do is take a spare bill, $1, $5, $10, £20, any currency, place it in the back, and now you're ready to go, set up to perform any routine that you feel that you want to perform. So let me talk about the most basic handling for this wallet, although there are a number of different ways that you can use it. In its basic form, something's written down on a card, it's placed between the two cards, and just in this action, gesturing, you can ask them to place it in their hand, you can place it in your hand, I'm getting the peak, and it's done. As simple as that. So how exactly did I do that? Very simply, as I turned the wallet around, I'm just letting the flap fall down, controlling it with my thumb, getting a full peak in the gesture of turning it around. So let's have a look at that again. So I take the card, I place it in here, I'm getting the peak, turn it around, you can place it in their hand, or you can place it in your hand, whatever you like. That is just one particular way of handling the wallet. There are several others, and let's talk about them right now. So let's take a look at this peak from over the shoulder. So you place the card into the wallet, and in the gesture of turning it around, you are allowing the flap to open, controlling it with your thumb here, getting the peak, and then immediately regripping and turning the wallet round. You can either place it on the table, you can place it onto your hand, you can place it into the spectator's hand and ask them to cover it. And that way you prevent them from fiddling with the wallet in any way that you don't want them to. And then you can just take the wallet back at your leisure. So here's another peek that I like to do, depending upon your performing environment. In the same way, a card is placed between apparently the two cards. It's just placed on the table, you talk, you patter, and this is what I call the table peek. Very simply, you lift up with your finger as you gesture to hand the wallet over to someone, and in that action, you're getting your peek. Let's see how we did that. So this is placed on the table, and leading with your index finger, you raise the wallet up, getting your peak, and then in one movement with your thumb, it just picks up and turns the wallet around, and in that simple action, you're getting a full peak. So here's the table peek from over the shoulder. So the wallet is placed down on the table in this orientation, and with your index finger, you just lead and you put your finger into the gap that is naturally between the wallet and the table, and you're literally lifting up, getting your peak. Immediately with your thumb, you're re-gripping and turning the wallet over, either placing it into their hand or placing it aside, and it's as simple as that. And here's another handling that you can do completely in the hands. In the same way, a card is placed in the wallet, and just by gesturing, you can get the peak as quickly as that. So this is very similar to the first peak we did. I'm just gesturing, pointing to my head as I look down and getting the peak. That is my exposed view, and then simply turning it around, gesturing and talking. And the peak is done. So let's take a look at the gesture peek from over the shoulder. Again, very simple. All you're doing here is tapping the side of the wallet. This also serves as covering your angles, and you're apparently just tapping the wallet just to get your peak. And it's as simple as that, and very, very clear and very simple. Another great feature of this wallet, something that I thought about right from the start, I wanted to create a motivation for you to get the peak. And that's why I devised this money clip on the back. This enables you to, in the action of perhaps removing something, in this case a dollar bill from the back of the wallet, to get your peak, a perfectly natural motivated action for you to perform. And here's what it looks like. Simple as that. So here's the exposed view of exactly what happened. In the action of apparently removing the dollar bill that they've seen on the back of the wallet, I am tilting the wallet back, getting my peak, and immediately coming forward, bringing the bill out. Seemingly everything is as it should be. So here's the over shoulder look of the money clip peak. As you remember, the motivation here is for you to be able to remove something from the money clip. You start off in the position that you can see here, and in the action apparently of removing, for example, the bill here, you are getting the peak. So in real time, this is how it works. And it's as simple as that. And here's another handling. Very simply, you just pinch the wallet from the top right-hand corner, and in that action, I'm getting my peak. As simple as that. And this is what exactly happens. You just simply let go, you get your peak, and then you close it up. Now what's important here is that you keep this wallet absolutely perpendicular to the floor. So in this way, I'm getting the full peak right here, right now. What's important is that you don't tilt the wallet in this way or forward in order for you to expose the flap. So here's another peak I like to call the pocket peak. And it's based upon the basic handling, and the motivation here is that you're placing the wallet into your pocket, and in that action you're getting your peak, and this is what it actually looks like in real time. So exactly what is going on here, you can probably work out the action of literally placing it into your pocket. As you do, the flap opens, you're getting your peak, and you're immediately closing it and placing it into your pocket. So of course another variation is using, perhaps if it's on the table, you can in the same way place it into your pocket, and in that action you're getting the peak. Depending upon which pocket you'd like to place the wallet into, you can vary the handling. If I want to place it into this pocket, in the same way I'm getting the peak. Simple as that. And here's a look at the pocket peak from over the shoulder. Again, simply as you go to your pocket, you're allowing the flap to open and placing it into your pocket, and the action is very simply as you would do naturally, placing the wallet into your pocket. Now here's something you'll notice straight away is that whenever I get a peak on a business card or a billet, I always remove the billet or the card from my wallet in the first place. Now for me that's important because eventually it's going to end up back in the wallet, so it starts from the wallet, it goes back into the wallet. That's where it should be. And my idea behind this is that I take the card, they write something down, I say, look, we'll put it back here where it came from. If we need to get back to it, we can, and we go from there. So how do we make sure that we orientate the card going in so you can get the peak in the correct orientation? So it's very easy when you have a printed business card because you can track the way it goes in. In this instance, you see my card here, I just place it in this orientation. So I know whatever is on the back will be revealed in that way. But what if you're using a blank card? Well, that's quite easy. In performance, the way I handle this in the same way, I remove it from my wallet and I generally ask them what their name is and I write that down in order to engage them. In this particular case, let's say the spectator is called Julie. And then I give them the card in the correct orientation for them to write something down. So I just pass that over to them. They write something down, for example, a number 526. You ask them to place it face down on the table so it can't be seen. And then I know the orientation of the card. I know it needs to go back in the wallet this way round in order for me to get my peak. The peak is done and you can go along with your performance. Danny, we're going to try something here if you don't mind. I want you to think of a 3-digit number in a moment, and I'm going to have you write this down on, I've got, let's see, a loyalty card from a coffee shop. Now, on this side, you can see I'm 2 away from a free coffee, so maybe not right on that side, but here, just go ahead and write any 3-digit number that you like, and when you've done that, I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do, okay? So the important thing is that you realise that I'm not looking at what you're doing, I'm facing this way, I'm talking so I can't possibly hear the way that your pen is writing. And I'll turn around only when you tell me it's safe to do so.
Okay, it's safe to do so.
Turn around?
Yes.
Okay, and this goes back into my wallet, obviously, here. And let's have a go. Now, the way this works is very simple, okay? I'm going to have you say the numbers one at a time. In fact, place it in your hand. Place this on top here, right? I want you to say the number starting from 0 to 9, and I'll see if I can pick up. We're just looking at the first number, the first digit, okay? So just say 0 to 9 and see if I can pick anything up here.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ah, interesting. You don't even have to finish there, because I'm pretty sure on 7, your lips just went up very slightly on 7, so that tells me it's a 7. Is the first digit 7?
It is a 7.
Fantastic. Yeah. Let's go for the second digit. This time I'm going to do things a little bit differently. This time I'm going to say the digits from 0 to 9. When you hear your number, I want you to think that's my number and see if I can pick anything up in your mind. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. So you did it again. When I said 5, your right pupil just dilated just slightly, just enough for me to tell me that it's 5. Is it 5?
It's 5,
okay,
yeah.
Here we go. Last digit. This time I'm not going to say anything. You're not going to say anything. In your mind, I just want you to think of each number from 0 to 9. Okay? Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can pick anything up. Okay, go for it. Interesting. You had a very steady beat through all the numbers, and right at the end you skipped really fast, which tells you skipped fast from 8 to 9, which tells me 9. I mean, is it right? Is it a 9?
Yeah.
Is it 759?
It is 759. Yeah.
Fantastic. 759. Yay! We got it right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the explanation for this basic routine. It's a simple 3-digit number reveal, and this is how it works. So you take the card out of the wallet. You ask them their name. In this case, the spectator, let's say, is called Julie. I write their name down in order for me to understand the orientation of the card when it goes back into the wallet. They write a number down, for example, 3 to 6. They place it down, face down on the table so you can't see. I place it into the wallet. That goes in there. In the action of turning it around, I get my peak. I now know that number. I know exactly what they wrote down. I've seen it's 326. So very simply, in order to divine the number that they've just written down, a basic routine that I perform is that I explain that I don't believe in mind reading necessarily, but I kind of buy into the idea of thought reading, and this is what I say to them. I want them to just say the number out loud from 0 to 9 and see if I can pick up on anything that they say. So they all say 0, 1, 2, all the way through 9. And I pretend that I've picked up on a particular number, whatever excuse I might make. Their eyebrow raised up a little bit, their mouth went up a little slightly, their nose twitched to the left a little bit. Whatever fake excuse you want to make in order to make it a performance piece. And the second number is revealed. This way you don't ask them to say the numbers out loud. This time you might say the numbers out loud. So I might say 0, 1, 2, 3, and watch their face and see if there's any facial expression, something I can apparently pick up on. And that could be anything, again, anything that you choose to be. Perhaps they smiled at a certain number. And the last number, I don't verbalize it at all. I ask them just to think of the number. But when they think of their last digit, just to really think in their mind, that's my number, and see if I can apparently pick up on it. And by that way, you get a nice little performance piece, and apparently you divine the number, and without referring to the wallet in this case, you just say, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm going to commit myself here. It was 326, right? Am I right? 326? They agree it's 326. You can, if you want, take it out for confirmation to show everyone the number is 326. Alex,
Hello.
Thanks for helping today.
Yeah, not at all.
Alex, let me ask you something. I'm going to take you back to perhaps when you were at school, okay? And I want you to think of someone. In fact, let me first write down your name here, Alex. Alex?
Yes.
I want you to think of someone you perhaps went to school with, someone that you haven't seen maybe for a long time, maybe someone you've not even thought about in years. And I'm going to turn my back. I want you to write down their name nice and clear here so we can show the camera if we need to. And then when you finish, make sure you turn the card upside down so I cannot possibly see it. I'm going to turn my back.
Okay.
Just let me know when you got that, and we'll go from there if you don't mind. Okay, it could be someone that you were friends with, someone that you didn't like, it could be a teacher, it could be anyone really. As long as we know that that person is clear in your mind.
Okay.
Have you got that?
Yes.
Can I turn around? Is the paper around the other way?
Yes, it is.
Fantastic, okay. And we're going to put this Alex back exactly where it came from. Now Alex, what I want you to do, if you don't mind, just try and think of, in fact, hold your hand up for me if you don't mind. Place your other hand on top like this, okay. I want you to think of the person now. Was this a person that you were friends with at school? Did you like hang out with them a lot? Is it a girl? It is a girl.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she had blonde hair or not. She may have been dark hair, but I think it's probably darker hair. I'm right. Yeah, darker hair. And you haven't seen this person in a long time?
No.
So if this person were to walk in the room right now, obviously that would be a great surprise, and you'd probably say, Tony, meet my friend Sophie. Is it Sophie?
It is.
It is Sophie. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's have a look here. And you wrote down Sophie. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alex. So naturally, you can retrieve any piece of information that is written down. I just showed you a number reveal. Let's talk about perhaps a name reveal. In the same way, you can take the card from your wallet and say you're working to George. George, write down George. And you ask George to perhaps think of someone they went to school with, perhaps a friend they haven't seen in several years. They might write down that name. In this case, let's say it was Martin. You ask them to place it face down on the table so you cannot see what is written down. You place it in the correct orientation, as you've recognized, as we've done before. That goes in there. You ask them to hold out their hand. You get them peek, place their hand there, and you go through your reveal. This is your opportunity in order to create a performance of the whole experience. You can make any statements that you like. They don't actually matter if they're correct or not, because you know that information, and ultimately you can roundhouse them with the direct name that you've actually gotten already. So you can make Barnum statements, you can make statements such as, take a guess, perhaps they were at school, so maybe they had blonde hair. It doesn't matter if they had blonde hair or not. You're just creating something and you're just guided by their actions. Did they have blonde hair? Yeah, that's right. Or if they say, no, maybe not blonde hair. Actually, I was a bit mistaken there. I'm pretty sure, okay, it was dark hair. Okay, I've got this person now. It's becoming clearer. Think of this person. Just try to imagine them here in front of you and you're talking to them and their name, Martin. Is it right? Is it Martin? There you go. So here's your chance just to have a little bit of fun, play off their reactions and try and gain as much information as you can in order to get that final reveal done. Alex, did you ever have a Rubik's Cube when you were a kid at all? Did you ever play with a Rubik's Cube?
Yeah, I did.
So you're familiar with some of the colours on there. In fact, all the colours are on here. You can see we've got green, red, white, yellow, blue, orange. But did you know that some of the colours are linked to human emotions? I don't know whether you knew that or not.
No.
Okay, well,
no.
That's interesting. So here's what I want you to do, and I'll explain what the emotions are. So I'm going to write your name down here, Alex. So on the other side, I want you to think of any colour of the Rubik's Cube that you like. It could be any colour you like, and just write the colour down on the back of the card. I'm going to turn my back, and then when you're ready, just say I'm ready, and I'll take a look back. But make sure the card is the other way around, so your name is shown. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So just think in your mind whatever colour of the Rubik's Cube you like. Could be any of the ones we've mentioned. White, could be blue, could be red, could be yellow, could be orange, could be green. Whatever you want. It's entirely up to you.
Okay.
You done that? Is
Yeah.
the card facing down the other way so I can't see?
It is.
Okay, fantastic. And obviously this goes into the wallet where it came from. And actually I'm going to give you a little prediction as well here, ahead of time here. So I'll leave that on the table. Now, here's the interesting thing. I don't know if you knew that green is actually linked with disgust. Did you know that?
No.
No. White is happiness. Yeah?
Okay.
Red is anger, as you probably expect. Blue is sadness. Orange is fear, and yellow is surprise.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
What colour did you pick?
Yellow.
Yellow,
Yeah.
which is surprise.
Yeah.
And I had that prediction before we have a look what that says and show the camera. What does it say?
I will be surprised.
Oh, thanks for helping.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So here's the explanation for color emotion routine. In your downloads, you will receive the PDF of this, and you can choose to, as I have done here, laminate it and use a dry white marker, or you can choose to print it out and give it as a giveaway. So how does this routine work? Essentially, you start off by having a billet folded in the back of your wallet in the clip, and it always says, you will be surprised. So effectively what is happening here is you're forcing the surprise emotion. And how do we do this? Well, let me explain. So in the same way as we have done from the very start, you take a billet out. If it's a blank billet, you write someone's name down. Let's say it's Mary. So you get the correct orientation. You ask Mary to think of any color, and it can be any color from the Rubik's Cube. Let's say in this case they choose orange, so they write down orange. Okay. As we've done before, this is placed into the wallet. Okay, that goes in there. Now, as I remove the prediction, I ask them to hold on to this prediction that I've written. I've gotten my peak, so I can now see that's orange. So all we have to do is talk about, and you can jazz this up as much as you like, you can talk about the various emotions that are linked to colors. So essentially what you're doing is forcing the color that they wrote down, linking it to surprise. So we'll just go through, for example, you might say, okay, a lot of people might think that red is attributed to anger, and you'll be right. Okay, so red is anger, green is disgust, white is happiness, yellow can be sadness, blue can be fear, and orange would be surprise. What color did you choose, Mary? You chose orange. Okay, orange, surprise. And have a look at the prediction that we wrote down before, and of course they open it up and it says you would be surprised. Now what's happened here is, you probably realize, whatever color they write down and you pick, you always force that to be surprised. Now say for example it wasn't orange and it was a different color. Just rub this out, and you're free. Say for example they chose it was blue, so in this case you talk about the same thing, you just attribute the colors to the various emotions. So green disgust, white happiness, red anger, yellow sadness, orange could be fear, blue could be surprise. In this case you force blue onto surprise. Doesn't matter what color they say, you can link it over to surprise and you've got your perfect routine. Alex, we're going to try something a little different here, if you don't mind. We've got some magazines here, 3 magazines. Each magazine's got, I don't know, roughly 100 pages in each one. Now, it's a demonstration of my memory. My long-term memory sucks because I'm getting old and that's what happens. But my short-term memory is actually really good, and hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate this with you. So let me write down your name, because I like to remember these moments in years to come and remember who I did this to. So, Alex, I want you to, in the first instance, I want you to think of any number between 1 and 100, write it down, and then when you've done that, we'll go from there. So I'm just going to turn my back and just choose any number you like. Between 1 and 100 could be anything you like whatsoever. And when you've done that, make sure you turn that upside down so I cannot see it, and just let me know if that's okay to turn around.
Yeah, I'm done.
I can turn around?
Yeah.
That's all good. And we'll put that back exactly where it came from, Alex, and we're all good, okay? And if you like to choose any one of these magazines whatsoever, you can get that.
Okay.
Choose whatever magazine you like. Have a quick flip through.
Okay.
And just make sure that all the pages are different. All good? Right, here's the demonstration. So you've got to give me roughly about 60 seconds to flip through myself. Roughly, okay? And I'm going to try this. I don't know. We'll give it a go. So have you got a second hand on your watch, or can you guesstimate it? You can roughly... Just call out every 10 seconds if you don't mind, okay? Tell me when to go.
And go. Okay, 10.
That's 10. Oh God, we're only about halfway through. I think I'll get there. Should be all right.
That's 20.
That's 20 already.
Yeah,
gosh. Okay, a few more to go. Stop.
30.
30. Dead on 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. You wrote down a number, right?
Yes.
For the first time, what was that number? 22.
22. Okay. No, I'm thinking of 17. 22. Okay. 22. Have a look at that. In fact,
Okay.
open up at page 22. I do not want to see. Page 22. I'm pretty sure there's some people there. There's a lady near the top. I think she's got blonde hair. And there's another lady underneath. She's got darker hair, I'm pretty sure. They look like actresses. I don't know. They kind of pose like they would. And on the other page, probably page 23, I can see some imagery as well. They look like cowboys, or they certainly look like cowboys. Maybe there's 3 of them. That's all I can remember. Don't ask me what else is done there, but that's all I can remember. Am I right?
The 3 Musketeers.
3 Musketeers.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, we got there. Thanks a lot.
Here's the explanation for the routine short-term memory. This comes to us courtesy of my good friend Christian Grace. Christian came up with this idea where you're using a peak in a slightly different way than the traditional sense of picking out a thought necessarily. So his idea was to present it as an idea of being able to remember the contents of an entire magazine. So the way this works is that they write down a number. Let's say we're working to, let's see, our good friend Mary again. So Mary will write down, let's say, a number. You ask them to pick a magazine, flip through it. How many pages this got? It's got 72 pages. Okay, Mary, just think of any page number you like and just write it down here. Say, for example, Mary writes down 20. That goes into the wallet. And you're going to make a little bet with Mary. Mary, we're going to place a little bet here for $1, and in that action I'm getting my peak, so I know it's page 20 at this case. I want you to time me, and I'm going to flip through this magazine and try and retain as much information as I can in under a minute. So essentially, during this minute, it doesn't have to be a minute, I'm flipping through, and I basically know that it's page 20 I really want to concentrate on. So on page 20, I'm gathering the information I need to reveal. So in this case, I say, okay, I can see New York here. I might glimpse the first sentence, and the first sentence here says, the Big Apple has it all. And that's something I'll reveal. And perhaps I'll notice, maybe on page 21, I might notice a picture. In this case, I've got these New York taxis on this side. And again, I don't spend too long on here, but I just retain that information. I flip through. Okay, all right, okay, fantastic. Okay, Mary, I think I've got it. Okay, what page did you think of, Mary? Page 20. Page 20, okay, let me think now. Page 20, 19 was that, okay. I think page 20, I can see New York. Yeah, New York, and on page 21 there was some taxis. Is that right? Was there taxis? Turn to page 21. Yeah, yellow taxis on this side. And there's a sentence at the beginning on page 20, the Big Apple has it all, am I right? Is that correct? Oh, thanks. Oh, I get to keep my $1. And don't ask me what the other pages said, because it's already gone straight out of my mind. George, let me try something. Here's an idea come from my friend Angelo Carbone, and he's taken the idea of using a peak wallet and completely flipped on its head, and we're going to use it for something else. George, can we try something out with you?
Yeah.
So I've written down something in my wallet. I'll tell you what it is right now. It's a 2-digit number. Now, just concentrate on what you think the first digit might be. What do you think the first digit might be?
7.
7, interesting, okay. And the second digit, just pull a number out of your head.
5.
5, so 75, right?
Yeah.
So in my wallet here, I told you I had a prediction, and it does say prediction, and on the back here it says 75. How about that? So here's the explanation to the little thing I just showed you from Angelo. And this is a way of using the Greek peak wallet in a different way. You're not actually extracting information, you're inputting information. And the way that this works is that you have a thumb writer, any thumb writer you like. This is one I have on my thumb here with a little bit of pencil at the end. And what happens in this case is, instead of placing the card, as you've seen previously, between apparently the two cards, you're placing it under the fake card, under the gold card. Now what that enables you to do means that the surface of the card is completely exposed. Under the table, as you call out what the first number might be, you're literally writing down whatever they say, one number at a time. Don't try and write it down all in one go. Break it down in the performance to give you plenty of opportunity and time to write down each number. And as you bring it up from the table, of course, you can ditch the writer, you can palm it, remove the card, and of course, whatever they said is revealed.
Alex, we're going to try something a little bit different if you don't mind. I want you to imagine walking into your house. You can go into any room whatsoever, and pick an object. And imagine that object that you can place it into my hand. Will you be able to do that for me? And I'll tell you what, I want you to write this down. And in fact, let me write your name down because I like to create memories myself and remember this moment and remember who I did this with. So I'm going to turn my back, write down whatever object that you can imagine bringing to me and placing it into my hand if you don't mind doing that. And when you've done that, of course, can you make sure that the card is face down so I can't see when I turn around? Okay, so we should be able to see your name. That's all we can see. When you've done that, just let me know. Okay.
Okay.
Can I turn around?
Yes.
Fine. Excellent. And we'll place this exactly back where it came from. Okay. Now, you'll notice also I've got another card here with letters of the alphabet. Can you see that now?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. And I want you to just have a look at these letters and pick the letters out in your mind of whatever object is you're imagining me holding that you've brought to me.
Okay.
So just quickly scan across there. Okay, and tell me when you've got all the letters. Have you done that?
Yes.
Okay, just concentrate on the first letter if you don't mind. And the first letter, see it as a capital letter, big and bold, and I see a curve in this. In fact, I want a curve, and I can almost see a C. It's a C, isn't it?
Yes.
It is a C,
Yeah,
definitely, yeah. And now let's look at the next letter, and you imagine you're bringing this object to me. And the next letter, see it as a capital letter. This one hasn't got curves. It's more of a straight line. I see this as an A. So we've got CA. I'm pretty sure, think of this whole thing. It's not a cat. You didn't bring me a cat, did you? No. Is it a candle? You bring me a candle. It's a
Yes,
candle.
yes,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So here's a fun idea I like to do, and I call this the alphabet peek. And it could be useful for those of you who are perhaps less experienced in using peek wallets. And it just allows you to have a little bit more time on your hands, a little bit more flexibility in getting the peek in terms of how long you're staring at the information. So in this particular case, say for example, we're trying to divine the word Martin. The ruse that I use is that I have here, and I explain to them, a card with letters of the alphabet all jumbled up, and I ask them to think of the name, and apparently they're trying to look at each letter, but what's actually going on is that I'm staring at this at my leisure, absolute, all the time in the world in order to get that information. I'm apparently tracking their eye movements and thoughts in order to get that information. This also is particularly useful if you're using the Peak wallet to get perhaps a sentence written down in the context of a question and answer session, some information that you need to gain more than just a glance, a peek. This isn't so much a peek, but a long old stare. I hope you like it. So let's talk about a couple of tips here regarding angles. The first tip I'd like to give you is to try and keep this reasonably close to your body as you can. That naturally means that your angles are covered in a much better way rather than bringing it straight out here and you're exposed and open up to anyone who might be over to the side. The second thing, and really important, I think we've already covered, is the way that you orientate this towards your spectators. You don't want to tilt this. You don't want to be tilting it over to the left or the right. But something you can be aware of is just by the natural gesturing, you can kill a particular angle as you open the flap just by putting your hand in front of that and re-gripping the wallet, and you'll find you're covered for most performing situations. Thanks so much for supporting this project. I'm really proud of it and I hope you like it as much as I do. I'd love to hear your ideas. Please contact me if you come up with any great ideas or routines. You can find me on Facebook. Just search for The Mind Hacker, or my website is themindhacker.co.uk. Thank you so much.